Hey there guys, this is the Loudmouth37, and as you've probably seen numerous times if you're a regular viewer of my channel, this is my Doctor Who shelf. I tried to keep it growing and expanding all the time, and the last time I did one of these was at the end of January. We're now at the beginning of April, and I've pulled out, I think, about 15 or 16 new DVDs that I've purchased. I think I only have just over 20 left to get, so as long as I get it done before November of 2015, that's fine by me, because that's, if you know, that's my goal, which you'll find out in the other videos. So, what's new? The Aztec Special Edition. I got this at HMV, and it's a really good story. Like Barbara really does, as everyone says, gets to shine in this. And obviously the big draw of this is that it has an hour reconstruction of Galaxy 4, because the third episode airlock was recently found in 2011, so you have about 8 minutes from episode 1 of footage, and then the rest is all reconstructed by the third episode. But good story on the Aztecs, good story on Galaxy 4, bar certain things, but I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about there. The Reign of Terror, 6-part Hartnell, the last story of the first ever season of Doctor Who. Set in the French Revolution, apparently the Doctor's favourite period, so Susan says, although I don't think that's ever mentioned again. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not a bad story, yeah, obviously episodes 4 and 5 are animated really well. As you know, I'm not the biggest person on 6-parters. It's not the worst, but I wouldn't say the best either. And the Moonbase, the most recent of DVD releases. And I love the Cybermen in general, particularly from the 60s years with Hartnell and Troughton. And this, I own episodes 2 and 4 on the Lost in Time box set. Episodes 1 and 3 animated here. I seriously recommend you go and pick this up if you're a Doctor Who fan, because this is a great story. It's really where Patrick Troughton does cement himself as the new Doctor. And the Cybermen are great. I think they're more, as I've said before, they're more scary in the 60s, I think, than they are in, you know, other stories. The Claws of Axos Special Edition. I own the standard edition, well, not standard, I own Claws of Axos on VHS. I found this for cheap, about £6 in CEX, so I picked it up. Yeah, good story. Roger Delgado. The main cast are brilliant in general, the whole unit family. I like the Axos as a villain. I'm glad they came back in the comics and Doctor Who magazine, but I wish they'd come back in the TV show. That'd be really good. Let's make that happen with Capaldi, guys. The Mutants, 6-part Pertwee story. Obviously, this was very political, driven by people like Barry Letts, who was the producer, and, you know, things like that. An interesting 6-part, actually. I found this really interesting to watch, given all the morality lessons basically behind it. Again, not the best 6-parter, but definitely not the worst. I'm trying to think what is the worst, actually. I've been saying that a lot. Robot. Yes, Tom Baker's first story. Finally got this. Tom Baker is just fantastic. He sets the ball rolling like instantly, and he instantly cements himself as the Doctor, to me anyway. It's a pretty standard 4-part, I'd say, similar to like a Pertwee Earthbound story, because it is, and it has the unit family. But Tom Baker's presence, it reminds me a lot more of Matt Smith, I think, in this first episode. The whole sort of laid-back attitude, but it's a really good story. What have we got? Moving down to the second shelf, we have The Mask of Mandragora. The start of the 14th season takes place in Italy, with the Doctor and Sarah Jane. First appearance of the new TARDIS prop, the second one, and a decent 4-parter. Perhaps not the most interesting, for me, personally, but not a bad story. The Face of Evil, which of course introduces Louise Jameson as Leela. I really like Leela's character. I like what they did with her here. I know some people don't, but I think she shines in this. The story itself, maybe not so much, but again, as always, that's just my opinion. If you want to, comment with opinions, feel free. Let's see, these 4, I got a lot of season 15. I've really caught up because all I owned was Underworld, which I thought was appalling. Horror of Fang Rock, very good story, very good 4-part, a good way to kick off the season. I don't think it's as good as the inner sleeve of the DVD actually makes out to be, but still a good story nonetheless. I know it's quite highly regarded, Horror of Fang Rock. The Invisible Enemy introduces K9, of course, so I have the K9 Tales box set now. The effects I thought were really good for this, especially with all the CSO stuff they attempted. This was much more of a success in terms of CSO than Underworld was, by far. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch that. But K9's good in this, and the whole I like the villain, the whole, you know, the infection, the virus thing. That could be something that could be done really well today, I think. Image of the Fen Doll. One of the truly, well, I guess it is the last sort of gothic-driven story. Nice dark story, nice atmospheric setting. Maybe the monster could have been better if it, you know, maybe it shrouded in darkness a bit more. But is it nice four-parter. The Sunmakers, which was by Robert Holmes, his last regular writing for the show for quite some time. And this is mainly centered around tax. And yeah, I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. Season 15, I think in general so far, I still need to watch The Invasion of Time again, because I have it on VHS. It's like, I wouldn't say personally there's any amazing stories here, but there are a lot of like good or decent ones. It's just a decent season, if that can be said. The Leisure Hive, opening of Tom Baker's final season. I own this on VHS, but I thought I'd get it on DVD. I do like the story. It's a nice change in pace. It's a good way to set off the 80s era. I think they did all the right things here. You know, with the music, the renovation in costumes, and everything like that I thought worked really well to the story's advantage. And what do we have? We have Meg Loss. Jacqueline Hill's fantastic. She played Barbara, as I mentioned up there in the original, in the first few seasons, but no, she was really good in this. The story itself I thought was very interesting. The effects work was brilliant for the time, definitely. Again, it's one of those stories that, like, it's good, but it's nothing fantastic in my opinion. People may disagree. And finally, Canine In Company. Did I really want this? Not particularly. Why did I have it? Because it's part of the Canine Tales. And I actually haven't watched this yet. It's just come to mind, I haven't actually sat down to watch this. Because I think it's about an hour. I need to find the time. But I will watch it, and, well, I've heard it's pretty awful, so... Oh well, much to opinion, and there's the Canine Tales box set lodged in the corner there, where you get the Invisible Enemy and Canine In Company. And that's pretty much it for now, yeah, so little over 20 left to go. I think there's, what is it, there's 3 William in terms of what's available, 3 William Hartnells I need to get, 2 Troughtons, 6 Pertwees, 3 Tom Bakers, 7 Peter Davisons, 2 Colin Bakers, and no McCoys, because I love McCoy, and he's already complete. So yeah, until the next major update, hopefully maybe the last one, until then, goodbye my friends, goodbye.